You should have fled Middle-earth with the rest of your cowardly kin, while you still had the chance.
We flee from nothing, least of all you, lackey of Sauron.
Fools! I am the right hand of Sauron. I will see your precious Rivendell burning, and your mongrel father hauled before me in chains.
You will do nothing. Your plots end here.
My work is only just beginning. Do you think you two alone can hope to stop me?
They are not alone.
Don't look for your guards. They won't be coming.
Fornost means nothing. You haven't won anything here.
He's escaping! We cannot hope to follow him now.
But I can! Sorcery of Sauron! This is no natural storm! I can no longer see him. It is no use. He has escaped us for now.
Yes, but you cannot be blamed. It was bold of you to go after him alone. Indeed, though perhaps it was not the wisest course.
If only we could have finished him. There's no telling what evil he may yet do. But what now? Where do we go from here?
For my part, I would gladly join in the hunt for Agandar. Yet, I have my duty to consider. I must return home to inform Lord Gwaihir of all I have learned here.
Your duty to your people must always come first. I'm glad we met, Belleron, and I hope we will meet again one day.
As do I, Eradan of the Dunedain. You and your comrades saved my life. That is something I will not forget. If I can ever be of service to you, I will.
Farewell wherever you fare, Belleron. Till your Eyrie receives you at your journey's end.
My thanks! Commend me to Elrond, your father, and farewell.
As for us, I believe we also have a duty to inform our allies of all we have learned.
Then we three should return to the ranger camp at San Ford. Halbarad will be anxious for any news we can bring.
Aye, the Shire could still be in danger. We might be needed there.
Should you find Halbarad has no pressing need of your services, I would urge you to make your way to Imladris. We may have need of your strength and resourcefulness before long.
But what of Aragorn and the Hobbit he was seeking? The Black Riders may well be pursuing them. Shouldn't we try to help him?
If Aragorn has found this hobbit, it is certain they will both be bound for Imladris. He is several days ahead of us now. We shall look for him as we go, but Aragorn is resourceful. I suspect he will arrive at Imladris before we do.
Very well then. San Ford is our destination. Farewell for now.
I have received word through the Sons of Elrond and the Wandering Companies telling of your valor at Fornost. You are to be commended for your skill and daring.
I think we managed to slow down Agendaur's plans at the very least. But how have things been here since we left to find Aragorn?
All has been quiet. There was an alarm sounded at Buckland shortly after we parted company, but it seems to have amounted to nothing.
Buckland? Where is that?
It is the easternmost region of the Shire, the only portion that lies east of the Brandywine River. It would seem quite tame to you or I, but many Shire folk consider it something of a wild frontier.
You said an alarm had been raised there. Do you know why?
It is difficult to say, since our only information was gained by eavesdropping on conversations between the little folk. And even they seemed uncertain as to just what occurred. I gather a house in the village of Crickhollow was attacked by something that filled the villagers with dread. I assume it was one or more of the same Black Riders who attacked us here.
Have you heard anything of Aragorn? He was desperately searching for a certain hobbit when we parted at Bree.
All I know is that Aragorn is rumored to have left Bree in the company of 4 hobbits of the Shire. I can only assume one of them is the hobbit he was seeking, and that they are now bound for Rivendell. There is worse news, however. On the night before they departed, the Prancing Pony Inn came under attack by unknown assailants.
There are so few rangers left here now, it might be dangerous to remain. What if the Black Rider should return? Perhaps it would be best to retreat.
That would be the wise course if I thought they would return. But I am certain they did not come this far merely to slaughter a small band of Dunedain. No, I will remain here with the few we have left. We cannot hope to fight the enemy, but we still have eyes and ears to gather news of their movements.
We had yet to make a count of the dead the night you sent us to Aragorn, but I had hoped there would be more survivors.
Some few are away patrolling the borders of the Shire, for even now we must attend to our duty. But sadly, many of those who were wounded in the attack died within days from some evil ailment. Even those whose wounds seemed minor. Perhaps Solana can tell you more.
I am ready for whatever new orders you may have for me. Andriel and Farin have also volunteered their aid. How can we best be of service?
Truthfully, I would be happy for the extra hands. But it is clear to me that you 3 have a greater destiny. You may be needed more urgently elsewhere.
So what would you suggest we do?
I advise you to make your way to Rivendell. Aragorn will be eager to hear news of Agendaur, and he may have other tasks for you to perform. For now, the enemy seems to have turned away from the Shire.
These Black Riders, the Nazgul, they have come a long way from Mordor. It seems strange they would travel all that way just to invade the Shire. Have you any idea why they would do such a thing?
I do know why they're here, but it is not for me to pass that knowledge on to others. Perhaps Aragorn or Elrond will tell you more when you reach Rivendell.
Travel to Rivendell? Very well, but it is a long journey. We'd best get started.
Perhaps there is something you can do for me on your way.
Gladly. You have but to name it.
I sent 2 of my rangers, Kilaran and Luin, on patrol along the Brandywine River. They should have returned long before now. I am growing concerned for them.
They are both seasoned rangers who have served many years in this region. We can be certain they have not simply lost their way.
From which direction would they be returning?
They were to follow the Brandywine north as far as the Great East Road, and from there to make their way back by passing through the Barrow Downs.
The downs are just north of our position here.
Then we'll make our way north by way of the Barrow Downs.
Perhaps we will discover some trace of them as we travel.
You have my thanks. I know your skill as a tracker, Aradan. If Lewin and Kalaran made it as far as the Downs, you should be able to pick up their trail. Farewell, and safe travels to you all.
You're soon to be off again, are you? Well, I have a few things among our supplies that may help you on your way. Perhaps a few extra arrows for your quiver, and a few of Solana's healing drafts may come in very handy as well. Take a look.
Aradan, my friend. It's good to see you alive and well. I'll admit I wasn't certain we'd meet again, but then everything seemed grim after the Black Riders broke through our guard. It was days before I could shake off the feelings of despair.
I'm glad to find you all still safe. How have things been here?
Well enough. Quiet. We've seen no sign of the enemy since the attack. It's as if they have lost interest in us. Or perhaps we're beneath their notice now. But from the look of your gear, you've seen a thing or two since last we met. Are you in need of repairs?
Are you hurt? You look well enough to me. If it's healing drafts you need, you can get them from Maradan. I have a dying man on my hands.
Young Eleron is dying? But why? What's wrong with him?
Wrong? I don't really know. His wound is minor, yet his life is slipping away. I fear he is suffering from the Black Breath.
The Black Breath? What is that?
It is some power wielded by the Black Riders, the 9 Nazgul. Their victims are stricken senseless, and without aid, they soon die. I've already lost 3 men to this curse. Eleron is the only victim who yet lives.
But there is still hope. What can we do?
I hardly know. Drawing an arrow, stitching a wound. These things I have done countless times. The Black Breath is something I know only from the old rhymes my teacher taught me.
Tell me this rhyme. Maybe there's some clue there.
It was years ago. Let me think. I believe it ran something like this. When the Black Breath blows, and death's shadow grows, and all lights pass, come Athelas, life to the dying. That's all I can recall.
What is this Athelas the rhyme speaks of?
An herb, commonly known as kingsfoil. It has little medicinal use, though some find it comforting for headaches and other small complaints.
Then there is no harm in trying it with Eleron. Do you have any of this Athelas?
No, I have none. You'll have to forgive me for neglecting to lay up a supply. But you see, no one bothered to tell me that the 9 ring wraiths would rise up from ancient legends to trouble us here. If I had Athelas, don't you think I would have used it by now?
It must grow wild somewhere. I am willing to search for it.
Perhaps you could find some at that. The plant is not native to Middle-earth. It was brought to these shores from lost Numenor, and planted in the lands where our ancestors used to dwell, including the Borodans to the north.
How will I know Athelas should I come across it?
The plant has many long, smooth leaves, but you might best find it by its scent, a sweet, pungent fragrance. The Borodans hold precious few such plants.
My road leads to the Barrow Downs. Should I find Athelas growing there, I will return with a supply.
I'm told the Barrow Downs are filled with ancient tombs. What do you know of them, Elf?
These tombs were made by the fathers of men in the depths of time. They were sacred to the men of Arnor, and they too buried their dead here, until their kingdom fell to the Witch King.
These hills have an evil reputation in the folklore of the Shire and Bree, but rangers travel here often without incident. Still, I feel a sense of... must stay alert.
Well, Ranger, what have you found?
Rangers camped here perhaps 2 or 3 days past. These footprints could easily be those of Lewin and Kalaran.
Can you tell whether they have gone from here?
The tracks lead deeper into the towns.
Then we should follow them. Lead the way, Eridan.
This is no natural fog. The air has grown so cold. There is an evil will behind this mist.
The dead awake! You face a Dunedain now!
A troll?
What manner of wretched creature is that? Come now, Wolf. There are still foes to defeat.
Sorry to push you to all that fuss, my friend.